Welcome back to another video, guys. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Joe.
And we've done our worst movies. Thank God that's over and done with. And we're moving on to the good stuff. We're doing our best films of 2017. Hope you guys enjoy. Awesome. So our best films of 2017. So we'll start with our runner-ups again, like we did last time for our worst ones. First one, which I was surprised got on it, was Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I actually had a really, really great time watching this movie. I did not expect that, and yeah, it made it on my runner-ups. One which I thought would be higher, but not that it's a bad movie because it's on my runner-ups, but it's still, I was expecting a bit more, was The Greatest Showman. Still a really good movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it was a ton of fun, really loved it. Hidden Figures was one that wasn't even on my radar going into the year, and I saw it and I absolutely loved it. And then one that I really wish got in my top 10s was Thor Ragnarok. I adored that movie, it was great, but just not as much the others.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm so much more excited about doing this than I was the worst. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're actually good movies.
Yeah.
You know?
My runner-ups, I had Annabelle, which was such a good horror movie.
It's such a step from the first one.
So well put together and everything flowed really well and just it worked.
It had that Conjuring feel to it again.
Yeah, like The Conjuring 2, but like...
God, I love The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, movies like that need to happen more often.
Yes.
They had Murder on the Orient Express. I enjoyed it, but I wish there was more.
I was very disappointed with it.
Yeah, I wasn't like horribly disappointed because I still thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think that's why it's runner-ups. But then Hitman's Bodyguard as well. I loved as well. Oh man, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson need to do more movies together.
Yeah, they really do.
They really just bounce off each other because they have such massive personalities. Kingsman, The Golden Circle, I put in my runner-ups. I wish that made my top 10 as well, but I feel like it just wasn't as good as the first one.
See, that's how I was at first. I rewatched it again recently, and I still very much like it, but it's gone down probably a star rating for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I only saw it the one time, so maybe I should rewatch it. But then also Justice League in my runner-ups.
Really? I thought you didn't like it.
No, I loved it.
Oh.
I said I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's into that.
Okay.
Are we going to start this again?
Wonder Woman was better in this one.
Mine is too.
I'm just going to say.
Alright, my 5 runner-ups. I love every single movie I'm about to say here. Like, they're like I could have had 10 more runner-ups that I think are just as good. But I had The Big Sick. That was it. Did you
I never
see
saw
that?
it. I really wanted to.
That was really good. Jasper Jones, which was the Australian one.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving's in
Yeah.
That was, I really loved it. That surprised out of me. Life. So good. I saw that in the cinema by myself, not expecting much, and it blew me away. It was shocked. My next one, I'm surprised didn't make my top 10, and I feel bad for having it this low, but I've got Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, number 12 that is. So, yeah, that feels wrong to say that. But there we go. And then one above it is The Disaster Artist. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I'm sad that one isn't in the top 10.
Yeah, I know. Like Justice League, I would have liked to put in my runner-ups because I loved it almost as much as Jumanji, but I think I just had a bit more fun with Jumanji than Justice League. Just because I think Justice League was a bit too choppy, whereas I didn't have those problems with Jumanji. That's the only reason to beat it, but I really love Justice League. I saw it like 4 times in the movies. It was great. I definitely agree with all your runner-ups, so like they were good movies.
Yeah.
It was a good year overall, I think. So into our top 10s, my number 10, when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be a lot higher by the end of the year because, like you, I was blown away by it, and that was Life.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I adored that movie so much. I think I saw it like 6 times the first 2 weeks it was out.
6?
Yeah, I was obsessed with it. But yeah, it's number 10. I wish I could put it higher, but...
Well, my number 10 is Logan. And I think for the same reasons, like, I absolutely loved it. It was, such a good story for just the Wolverine as a character. But I guess at the time I watched it, I thought, wow, this is definitely going to be in my top 5. But just as the year progressed, there were just, other movies that I enjoyed more so that I just put in front of it. But it was definitely like a phenomenal movie.
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
I'm sure we will.
Number 10 for me is It Comes at Night. Am I the only one who saw this
I
one?
think you are.
Yeah, I think.
It Comes at Night. It is really good slow burn thriller, and Yeah, I don't really want to say too much about it.
Joel Edgerton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's not like an action-packed kind of like jump scary kind of thing. You kind of just get plunked into this setting. You don't know what's going on, and then as the film progresses, you find out more.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot happens, but I think it works wonderfully. It's just so effective. So
Yeah, see, I prefer that over jump scares. Jump scares, I think, are cheap ways to get immediate thrills instead of building suspense.
I definitely recommend It Comes at Night.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's excellent. It's made the top 10.
Yeah.
So-
My number 9, I go a bit higher than you, but still, I can't believe it's not even in my top 5, is Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd have a Star Wars movie below number 2 or 3, but it's happened. Not a bad movie, but if you've seen our reviews, you'll see that we were all very mixed on it the first time we saw it. I definitely like it a lot better the second time, but yeah, still have problems with it. But it's a good movie. It is a very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I thought it was really
It
good.
was fun. So much fun.
So yeah, and it had it, without spoiling anything, it did have the first sort of real death in the MCU. We did speak about this before.
Yeah.
You know, like where
Surprising.
yeah,
First death.
yeah, the big one that like made an impact essentially.
Yeah.
All the others, there isn't even that many, but when they do die,
They just come back.
yeah, they either come back or it gets brushed over like
Yeah.
it was nothing. But I think that actually made the film for me.
It did for me.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying it, but I was still kind of very 50-50 as to whether I prefer the first or second one. That ending topped the first one for me.
Yeah.
My number 9, Spider-Man: Homecoming. So I guess I'm probably the lowest one here to have that.
I'm sure it will be, yeah.
But yeah, excellent Spider-Man film. Absolutely excellent. Much better than, even though I enjoy them, Andrew Garfield's 2 Spider-Man movies.
Totally agree.
Yeah, this is so much fun. I love Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Perfect casting.
And yeah, I'm sure we'll hear more from this later.
I'm sure we will.
We will. My number 8 was Wonder Woman. I adored this movie. Contrary to someone else here.
Hey, look, no, hold on. I totally, no, hear me out, guys. Stop laughing! Hear me out. I totally understand why people love it. It's a good movie. Like, I can see it. The issues I have it totally personal, and that's, like, fine. I can see why you guys love it. I totally can.
At this point, I feel like we're just staring you.
I love Wonder Woman. I didn't have huge expectations going in because I got a bit dampened with Suicide Squad, and not that I didn't like Batman vs Superman, but that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But especially Suicide Squad, I didn't like. But God, it blew me away. Wonder Woman. It was exactly what I wanted from the DC movies from the beginning. Just a straightforward, just basic origin story that just fleshes out the world of just one particular character before diving into the Justice League. And yeah, I just thought it was very well done. Patty Jenkins did a great job directing. Chris Pine and Gal Gadot's chemistry I thought was just unbelievable. Yeah, I just loved it.
What are we up to?
Number 8.
8. Disaster Artist for me.
Mm.
Yeah, fantastic film. It honestly blows me away how, like, the worst film in the world can
Spawn like such a good movie.
Yeah, like oh man, James Franco is just.
He's up for a Golden Globe now.
Yeah.
Possibly an Oscar, I'd say.
Gosh.
Good chance.
I don't know. I just absolutely
It was great.
loved it. It
was
does
great.
such a good impression, and just played the character so well.
Number 8 for me, once again, I'm sad to have this so low, but I love all these movies, is Coco.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible new Pixar movie. As we spoke about in one of our recent videos. It is so good, and it's up there with the best Pixar movies.
Without a doubt. I actually ranked it amongst my Pixar movies. It's like in my top 3 or 4.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. And like I said, like it's one of my favourites, but it's still like number 8 or so.
Yeah.
Coco was up there with the best of them, so if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
My number 7 was Blade Runner 2049. This movie just blew me away. It was just absolutely jaw-dropping. The visuals, the sound, the story, the directing, everything was just top-notch. The only reason I probably didn't put it higher was just because I'm not a massive Blade Runner fan. Like, I like the first one, but I can kind of like take it or leave it. This one just absolutely just stunned me. but it doesn't have just that rewatchable value that I'd give the other ones that I put above it. But if you haven't seen it, like if you did it on the big screen, like you probably really miss out on something pretty special, I reckon.
I mean, the sound effects are annoying. Like,
Oh man, and
cinematography.
mixed Hans Zimmer's music, which
Yeah.
isn't really music, it's just it's noise.
Yeah.
Really just
Did you see it?
I missed it. I'm one of those people that missed
Oh,
it. I'm
damn.
really looking forward to seeing it. I haven't got around to
find
it.
someone who's got Dolby Atmos at home with like the biggest screen possible and watch it there. Like,
Alright.
don't watch it on like a little screen or anything like that. It won't do it justice.
Yeah. I wish I could have put that. I guess maybe I just forgot that it was last year. It feels like so long ago actually. But
Blade Runner.
yeah, I probably would have put it in my runner-ups had I sort of. I think what let me down most about it was, like you said, the rewatchable value it doesn't have.
No.
Like I probably would.
I've rewatched it again, but in time,
Yeah.
not straight away.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long movie.
It's very long.
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
do-
feel long, but it is
Yeah.
long.
And
It's,
you take a lot of it in when you
it's
watch it.
it's an not in a bad way, but it's an exhausting experience
Yeah.
because it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
And
But I had for number 8. Number 7, Coco as well. I think. Well, for you had for number 8, but yeah, it's amazing what Pixar can do. Like it feels like they're not even trying, yet they spit out this.
literally, it feels so effortless.
Yeah, and it's just like an intense story that like breaks your heart. Makes you happy. It's just wow, amazing.
7 for me, Logan. Phenomenal.
Yes.
One of the best movies in the whole X-Men kind of franchise.
Mm.
Probably is the best one, I would say. It's my favourite at least.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's great here. The Patrick Stewart is great here.
Yeah.
The whole movie is great here. So yeah, loved it absolutely. And I went in not expecting much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just went in thinking, yeah, this is gonna be okay, and blew me away. Loved it.
Yeah.
Actually, I've only seen it once, so I can't wait to see it again. So I should get on that.
You should.
Yeah, definitely. My number 6 was Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. I adored this movie. It was back to what I loved about the original movie. It felt like the original one again. Yeah, I just had such a blast watching this movie. It was great. I really, really loved it.
I agree. It definitely felt like it was back to. I dislike Pirates 3 and 4.
See, I love number 3. Number 4.
3 just feels like they shoved every plot device possible into one film. Let's hope it works, and it didn't for me.
Really? Who was I? I was talking to someone recently, and we must have been the only people in the room at the time, but we both loved 2 and 3 the most in the franchise.
2 is my favourite.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Chest, I think, is the most fun Pirates of the Caribbean.
Really, above number 1.
Above 1.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me, it's 2, 1, 5, 4, 3.
See, number 1 is still my favourite. Dead Men Tell No Tales comes very close, but doesn't quite eclipse it. And then be number 3, and then 2, and then 4.
The good thing
way
about
down.
5 is there were a lot of scenes that I felt were like the fun scenes from the first two.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with the guillotine bit? Or
Yeah.
something
Yes.
around? That felt very number 1 and 2.
Yeah,
And that's
Like,
what I love
yes.
about it, where it does kind of take itself seriously, but not to the point that it's bogged down in so much exposition. Like, it's just a really fun film.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Straightforward story, great villain, great actor playing great villain.
Yeah. If anything, I thought the villain was not fleshed out enough. To be
Yeah.
honest. It doesn't make my list at all, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Gave
And I think the
stars.
thing that really got to me is I thought Barbarossa had one of the best story arcs in the entire film.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah,
He was
it
great.
was fantastic. Your number
6.
6. Life.
Life.
I loved Life.
Yeah.
Like it blew me away as well. Oh man, like so. What actually happened in the movie was so original, and it
That
was
initial attack.
yeah, and like the claustrophobia you get later in the film, and it's a suspense building and building and
Yeah.
building, and
So-
the ending was I loved the ending.
Yeah.
And your heart is pounding.
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, oh, come on.
Yeah. Oh,
The credits
man.
were well and truly like finished. The cinema was like just quiet, and I was still just sitting there, just like trying to process what I just watched.
Yeah.
It was, Life was exactly what Alien Covenant should have been.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But then again, Life is very similar to Alien.
It
in
is.
a lot of sense, so-
It is, which why Covenant should have been there.
Yeah, but you can't.
No, but like more that claustrophobia. I mean,
Yeah.
My number 6, I hope I'm not the only one who saw this, is Get Out. Have you guys seen it?
you are the
I
only one.
didn't see it. Sorry.
It's so good.
So many people
So
told me I had to
good.
see it, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
A lot of my reviews there, I just be going, oh, it's so good, just go see it. I'm sorry. but yeah, Get Out. Once again, I went in blind for this movie. I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't know anything about it. I knew like Jordan Peele directed it, and basic plotline, and it just has this sense of uneasiness the entire way through, and it's kind of hard to talk about without giving anything away, because I really don't want to. Don't watch it. If you're going to watch it, don't watch the trailer before you see it. Just watch it.
I've already seen the trailer multiple times.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Just go in fresh and let it blow your mind.
What?
It's so good, and it's I think it even sticks the ending. Like, it gets a bit wacky, but I think the whole film is really good, and I can't wait to see more movies directed by Jordan Peele.
No.
Cool.
My number 5 was The Disaster Artists. I had so much expectation on this movie, and it didn't disappoint at all. I thought it was fantastic. James Franco was amazing. Seth Rogen, Dave Franco, the entire cast was superb. Like, the recreation of all the scenes was excellent. The depiction of Tommy Wiseau was spot on. And like we said in our review, it didn't resort to just a mockumentary of Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
They weren't paying him out at all. They were portraying him as a real person. You see his feelings. You see his what he was going through during the making of the film. Didn't always agree with his choices, but you see like the mindset behind it, and then that premiere, when you see his reaction to everyone laughing at the movie, that really just got to me.
Yeah, it's something that feels like it shouldn't work too. Like,
No.
it feels like it shouldn't work, and it does. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it was good. My number 5 was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. After watching it, second, third time, I actually more so earned a bit of more respect for it. And sort of understood where Rian Johnson was sort of going
So
with it.
you have seen it a few times?
Yeah. So when we did the review, I'd only watched it the one time. But yeah, you definitely do earn more respect for it as you watch
definitely, absolutely. Which is why I gave it a higher rating in my review.
Yeah, I just the thing that worries me about this movie is worry itself. What the movie actually does to me is it worries me about what number 9 is going to be like.
Which is why,
I
agree
like it. Because
completely.
what I'm doing right now is literally just putting my faith in this movie. Like, do not screw the franchise up.
Yeah.
Please. I'm hoping J.J. Abrams can make something magical for number 9. Like, honestly, that's why I like this movie so much. Because I know it can deliver in the long run.
I am getting worried the more I read about it, because I've read that J.J. Abrams had no involvement in this one.
Yeah.
It was entirely Rian Johnson. And apparently when J.J. Abrams saw the script, he was like, okay, that's different. Like, yeah, it's not at all what we were expecting.
But knowing JJ, he can do something to fix
Oh,
it.
for sure. I just hope it doesn't keep bouncing back and forth between two directors who don't agree.
I I won't be worried until I sit in the seat, it starts, and I get 20 minutes in and think, that's when I'm
Which what would happen to me in this one, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
This is
like
not what I
if
thought.
that feeling doesn't come, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
My number 5 is Baby Driver.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely excellent movie. Edgar Wright is my favourite director of all time. I love his style. I love his editing style. I love his humour. I love the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. Because I don't even know if that's the official title.
Isn't it Cornetto trilogy?
Cornetto trilogy, whatever it is. I love Scott Pilgrim, and I love his fan film, and I love Baby Driver. The cast is great. The story is actually pretty thrilling. Like, it really sucks you in. And even though it's a taboo to say it now, Kevin Spacey was great in it, Jamie Foxx is great in it. Excellent film.
Yeah.
I wish it was higher on my list, actually.
I liked it. I didn't get all the fuss about that. Like, I very much enjoyed it. I had a great time while watching it, but then I kind of forgot about it afterwards.
Okay.
Even though I've seen it a few times, like even the last time I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with it. I don't know why.
Wow.
I'm not a big Edgar Wright fan though. Like, I didn't like Scott Pilgrim. These other movies I kind of enjoy, but yeah, I've never been a big fan of him.
Wow.
This has been my favourite of his movies, definitely.
Wow, I love every single one of his movies. They're all A+ for me.
I'll talk about it in a second anyway. You go.
My number 4, which we've already talked about, was Coco. This movie just hit me so hard emotionally. It's just a beautifully told story. The music, the characters, so colourful. And shining. I love how Pixar, when they do original films, like not that the sequels are bad, but when they do original films, they're really in their comfort zone, because they just excel at bringing unrealistic ideas, things that shouldn't work in a kids' film, to life.
Yeah.
And not just to life. It just jumps off the screen, and I thought it was just magical.
No, it was. See, this is what I'm loving about. I mean, not just Pixar at the moment, but also like the Marvel MCU franchise now as well. They will never get it wrong because they know how to get it right.
Yeah.
It's when people try and they take risks and stuff like that. Not that Pixar and Marvel's never taken a risk, but they really know what they're doing. Especially like these guys over at Pixar, they're literally just drawing animations, and then when you see a film like Coco put together, the music, the lights, the colors, even just like the voice acting and like the expressions on literal skeletons, like
I was so worried going in about the skeletons, like how are they going to make this work?
Yeah.
And they had more life to them than I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Okay. Well, my number 4 is Baby Driver. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely great. Edgar Wright, I love him as a director and all the films he's done as well. And this movie just topped it off for me. Kevin Spacey as the good bad guy was phenomenal. I loved him. I loved not knowing what was going to happen next. I love the twists. I'm kind of getting sick of these movies being like, oh, the good guy, runs into a little bit of trouble and then, he prevails in the end. This is more like shit has hit the fan.
Oh yeah, I think you've nailed it. That's right, the unpredictability of what was going to happen, because this is like a one and done. Even though I think they're discussing a sequel, which I hope doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Even though it's a one and done movie,
Really?
it feels like anything could happen at any point.
Exactly.
And it does. It does.
It quite literally does. And I love the music, how it played into just
The music was great.
the interaction with what they were doing. There was one scene when he was counting money, and him flicking the money was part of the song, or part of the score, and it was playing with it.
Did you notice during the opening, not like the actual heist opening, but when he's walking to the coffee shop, when the song's going, you see the words on the street that time with the words in the song.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
There is Edgar Wright directed a music video by a group called Mint Royale called Blue Song or something like that, and it is essentially the concept of the music going. So it's got stars Noel Fielding, Nick Frost, Julian Barrett, and somebody else, and they're in a car and they run in for a heist, and Noel Fielding stays in the car, and everything he does in the car goes in time with the song.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for them to come out. So I think that was the inspiration for
Must
Baby
have
Driver.
been, yeah.
And it's excellent. I think that's like 4 minutes. You should watch it. It's really good.
Oh,
Hitting my number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm surprised this is so high. Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite Marvel movie, and I thought the sequel was better than it.
Me too.
I thought Volume 2 was better than the first one. It's surprisingly emotional. Emotional.
And that is why it's better for me than number 1.
Exactly the same. And I think also that the characters are already fleshed out, so we know them coming into it. I thought that majority of the humour works for me in this one. There are a few bits it's like, okay, that feels forced, and I liked the villain in this one. I thought it all worked, and
it worked very well.
I think it's now my favourite Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me. The thing that I really liked about Guardians was that even though it kind of took me out of it the first time I saw it, kind of like Empire Strikes Back, they split up all the heroes.
Yes.
And they're on their own personal journeys.
Yeah.
Watching the second time, I think that was definitely the right thing to do, because the first one was about them coming together.
Yeah.
So now you split them up to really test them, and it works so well. My number 3, if it wasn't for this one, Guardians Volume 2 would be my number 1 Marvel movie, but Spider-Man Homecoming just crushes it for me. Massive Spider-Man fan, both are.
Yes.
No,
you go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I won't say too much because that way you can have
Oh no, I was just going to say...
then it'll be up there for you as well.
Spider-Man definitely crushes Guardians. But I'll just say that for now. But do you want to say anything more about Spider-Man?
I was just gonna say I loved I thought Tom Holland was perfect casting.
Yes.
Michael Keaton. Before he was even cast as the Vulture, when I heard they were doing the Vulture, I was like, cast Michael Keaton. And then he got cast. I was like, that is amazing. I've never had that happen except for once before with Ray Fiennes as Voldemort. But it was just so good. It had the Spider-Man that I remember from when I was a kid, where where the skills he has aren't a curse. a 15-year-old kid will be having fun with that, and he does have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I just thought the relationships that he has with everyone around him was perfect Spider-Man. The balancing of the high school drama with the superhero stuff was great. It felt like a superhero version of a John Hughes film, like Ferris Bueller and those kind of films. I thought it was just great.
Actually, now that you said that, there is a little cameo of Ferris Bueller.
There is that amazing little reference. Yeah.
Anyway, number 3 for me is It. Best horror movie of all time for me.
Me too.
Hands down. And this movie just blew me away. Like, wow, it's amazing how a bunch of pretty much unknown kids can put together such a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it. I won't go into anything. We'll just move on from now because I know you guys have it somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 3. I feel like I gotta defend myself with this one, but it's Justice League.
You don't have to defend. I agree with you. I can see why you got it high.
So
Definitely.
It's number 3 for me. So do I think Justice League is one of the best technically movies this year? No in hell. Is it one of my favourites? Hell yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
As I've said countless times in these videos before, huge fan of the comics. This movie, the way it jumps around, the way the cuts are, it made me feel like I was reading a comic book.
Yeah.
Plus, it's been a dream of mine to see the Justice League on the big screen since I've been little. So, one thing that a lot of people I know they have a problem with Justice League is it's not explained enough. The villain's not explained enough. They don't know the characters. Why didn't they get their own film beforehand? For me personally, because I know the characters, I know who the villain is, I know their motivations, it was fine. It felt like I just was plonked in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
Like I just opened up a book. So for me, it worked well. Loved it. I love Ben Affleck as Batman still. I
me too.
never want him to leave.
I think no.
I never want him.
Every time I read that he might be leaving, I get so sad and disappointed. Like, just stick around, just at least for the solo film.
So do I. And I mean, I know that a lot of people have problems with Henry Cavill's Superman, but at the end of this film, he actually he feels like
He's
the
great.
Superman. Everybody feels
Yeah,
like he
his
should
Superman in here is my favourite iteration of his
be. Oh, for sure.
of his portrayal.
But there's one thing I never got about Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. It's like, why isn't he Superman that we know and love? It's because he's only been Superman in a short amount of time. The world doesn't know who he is. The world is scared of him. Of course he's not going to be friendly to everybody, like that kind of thing. But anyway, I won't go into it. I love Justice League. Loved it. I can't wait to see more of Aquaman and The Flash. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, I really wanted to put it in my top 10, but yeah, I had to pick between other ones. But I think that's the thing with these lists. It's not so much what we think is the best quality movie. It's just it's our personal favorite.
That's how I've ranked mine.
Exactly.
What I've enjoyed the most.
Yeah. Like if I was to do that, I'd probably put Blade Runner 2049 in my top 3. But yeah. So my number 2 is War for the Planet of the Apes. I really like Rise. Dawn blew me away, and then number 3, War for the Planet of the Apes. Oh my god. I was watching this movie and halfway through I was like, I'm watching a masterpiece. It was just... I feel it is maybe a badly titled. Because everyone's expecting like a massive battle, because it's called War for the Planet of the Apes. When it's more about the cause and effect of war. Like it's really a drama, the entire... There are some skirmishes in it. There is a battle that, like a couple of battle opens it and then a small one towards the end. But the majority of the film is a character-driven, intense prisoner of war story about, the desperate measures that people go to on the brink of not just in war, but on the brink of survival almost. I thought Woody Harrelson was phenomenal as the villain, but again, he's not really a villain. He's just it's an extreme that I guess some would go to if this species is about to be obliterated from the.
Oh yeah, like for his side of the war, he's the good guy.
Exactly. I mean, thankfully I've never had to be in that situation, but I'm like, if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I might do some of those dark things they do, because, when you're faced with that monumental apocalypse, like, what do you do?
Yeah. I liked War of the Planet of the Apes. My personal favourite is the second one.
Me too.
I thought that was absolutely perfect, and I thought it was building... I don't know if I was just a bit underwhelmed with War. I thought the pacing was a bit off.
I was honestly literally about to exactly say what you're saying. I thought it was a little bit anticlimactic at times.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I felt like it wasn't exactly linear. It was, whereas, Rise and Dawn, they had a very distinct start, middle and end. Whereas War it didn't go off track, but it it kind of just it didn't have much going on for a little bit. And I understand that it was developing, you know, well, it was showing the survival of humanity and
That's
whatnot.
right.
But it felt like it lacked something.
For me, it felt like it because a good chunk of the first half of the movie is them on the horses just riding around that you know the parts. I mean,
Yeah.
So it felt like it was building and building and building, and then like when it got to the ending scenes, it felt like it was still building.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that was it, and it's like okay, well, you know, I enjoyed the movie a lot. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, coming off the brilliant second movie, I was expecting a bit more.
Dawn was amazing.
Yeah.
But what I loved about it too was that a great percentage of the film is done purely through sound and visuals. There's nearly no dialogue, and it's purely just visuals telling the story. Especially with the apes, they silent the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's just the music driving, the sound effects driving, and the dialogue, the facial and oh my god, the motion capture. Like, this is the best motion capture work I've ever seen. It was just stunning. The close-ups on like the orangutan Maurice when he's like interacting with Nova. Oh my god, that was just amazing.
Yeah, that side of the film is absolutely
And what I loved about it was, like you guys saying with the pacing, I liked how it kind of like, you're expecting one thing and it kind of like went against audience expectations. You know, expecting this massive confrontation between two certain characters. I'm not going to say it for those who haven't seen it, but you're expecting a confrontation and it plays out in a way that you don't expect. And I think they went for the more dramatic route rather than the big blockbuster version.
I understand.
But I mean, that's me, yeah.
I think there should have been something more, but yeah, good movie anyway. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wish I didn't put it in my worst runner-ups because it wasn't, to me it wasn't a bad film at all. I guess I just didn't get into it as much as I wish I had. My number 2 was Thor Ragnarok. Wow. This movie is just incredible. I can't believe I loved it so much. It's definitely the movie I watched the most out of all the movies that came out last year. It was definitely probably for me the funniest movie I watched.
Oh, definitely the funniest.
Yeah, and
Piss off, Ghost.
Taika Waititi is just wow. My gosh, I love it. And you know, I also love that Meek and Korg and those characters, they're all in the comics. Like, they're not just made up by Taika Waititi. He literally, like...
But he just put his little spin
twist on it, yeah. And it's so cool. I was worried, honestly. I thought to myself, wow, this movie might surpass Spider-Man for me. But it was so hard picking 1 and 2.
Really?
So hard for me. But Thor is definitely my second favourite Marvel film of all time.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, my number 2, which may surprise, Jeremy's favourite film, Wonder Woman.
Wow, you just know me so well.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Thought this was a great Wonder Woman story. I wasn't sure how, like Morgan saying, when I saw Batman v Superman, I wasn't sure if I was sold on Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This cemented, she is Wonder Woman to me now. I loved Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, loved all the bits of humour in it. The action scenes I thought were excellent. I'm pretty sure, like, everything you say is opposite for me.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess this is how we feel about the movie. I mean, and there's nothing wrong.
Of course,
with that.
I'm not saying you're like I said, I'm not saying you're wrong, but yeah, absolutely loved it, and I'm surprised it got knocked off my number 1 spot, to be honest. So
I'm curious what number 1 is.
I'm
intention of looking, because I don't want to know. Alright, number 1s?
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
cool. My number 1, the second I saw this movie, I knew it was going to be number 1, and it didn't budge for the rest of the year.
I'll let you guys go.
So, this was a very good year for me, because I often have 1, maybe 2 that creep onto my top 20 films of all time. I've had 3 this year. It, Planet of the Apes, and Homecoming. And it is probably, I ranked it the other night, and it's number 5, my all-time favourite films ever made. I could not get over how perfect this film was.
Yeah, it just mention it is the one that knocked Wonder Woman number 1 for me as well. It's so good.
And like I said before, I don't think there's such thing as a perfect film, but it's a perfect experience. And for me, that was it. It was just...
No pun intended. Sorry, I always say that.
It was
So we
just
should stop.
incredible. Right, like as soon as the opening scene happened, I was like, wow, we're in something really special with this movie. And the entire film just got better and better and better. And by the time the credits rolled, I was just completely stunned by the movie.
I was blown away. I said to the people, I was like, that was excellent. I can't wait to watch it again. It felt like an amalgamation of like Stand By Me, The Goonies, all that type, like Super 8.
Super 8.
Like,
E.T.
yeah, exactly. It just felt like a mash of all those films, all the best bits of those films,
Yeah.
into a really cool horror movie.
Yeah.
And actually, for a horror movie, I didn't think it was too scary. I wasn't.
I got free, I get scared easily.
I wasn't that creeped out by it. But I think that worked in a way. I thought because it wasn't very. I mean, there were jump scares, but it didn't rely entirely on jump scares all the time.
I think
Were there jump scares? Like there was maybe 2 or 3.
It was like a
They weren't
projection
big
scene,
ones.
that kind of stuff. But
no, I think what you're trying to I understand what you're trying to say is that the reason it wasn't scary, and the reason it wasn't was because it was focusing on other things more directly.
I mean, if you were to pin it as a genre, it is a horror.
Yeah.
But it's a blend of horror, drama, comedy. There's a lot of comedy in this movie.
coming of age, maybe even.
Coming of age.
Yeah.
And the kids. You felt like they were actually best friends in real life.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for movies with good casts of children, like Super 8, The Goonies, Stand By Me, like.
And we haven't mentioned yet, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was just genius casting. And the music was amazing. Everything was amazing.
See, it sucks that Dark Tower was so bad because there's that bit in the Dark Tower.
You literally got a horrible Stephen King adaptation and like one of the best ones ever made. Yeah.
And you see that like Pennywise has broken down carriage in the Dark Tower as well.
Yeah. No, it was just fantastic.
So my number 1 is Homecoming. Spider-Man.
Surprise.
Yes, I am a massive Spider-Man fan. I from start to end loved it. My favorite villain, Michael Keaton is the Vulture. Like that car scene. Whoa. I was like getting shivers when he was talking to Spider-Man.
And one of my favourite bad guy themes, the Vulture theme.
Oh yeah, so
Mike Giacchino. Oh God.
Man,
are we allowed to talk spoilers for this?
I was just about to get into a few.
Yeah, so spoiler warning if you haven't seen it.
Did you guys, just before you say it, did you see the twist of his
No,
character coming?
not at all.
Neither
I was
did
completely blindsided.
I felt
by
so
that.
stupid, and people I saw said, "Yeah, we saw that coming." And I was like, "How?"
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way you could see that coming.
A few people I've talked to have said when they initially saw him as on the first scene, they originally thought maybe he was sabotaging like his life, not necessarily Liz is what I'm trying to think of. When you see him as Liz's dad, people thought that he was there trying to like attack the family, not actually as her dad, sorry. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, what I thought when he opened the door, I was like, oh, Peter's got the wrong house.
Yeah, like, but man, they put it together so well. Something that I also liked about was one of the end credits scene where you get introduced to Scorpion in the prison.
Yeah.
The fact that he's asking the Vulture, who Spider-Man is, but the Vulture protects Spider-Man as if he respects him for like sort of saving him.
Yeah.
In a way.
And saving his daughter.
Yeah, that's like he's such a likable character, even though he's a villain in that sense. The only thing that I wouldn't like about this film, or I don't, is the fact that there were Spider-Man films to compare it to originally. If this was the first Spider-Man on screen experience, that would have absolutely topped it for me. But the fact that there's the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield films that are there as well, it puts me off a little bit because there's so much love for Spider-Man.
How's it rank for you compared to the previous ones?
Number 1.
Yeah, me too.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
But the fact that I have to sort of spread my love to all these different Spider-Mans, I kind of wish I could just channel it all onto Tom Holland. But at the same time, like, I don't know. That's probably the only thing that sort of conflicts with me.
Yeah.
I still think Spider-Man 2 is my favourite, then Homecoming. I don't know why. I think maybe just because I watched it so much as a kid.
Yeah.
I still love the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Yeah, it is good. It's amazing.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, very much.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Those are our thoughts on our favourite films of 2017. What did you think? Did you agree with us? Were there some that we missed? Hit us up in the comments section below and let us know. Also hit the subscribe button. Awesome new content coming out for 2018. Also check out our least favourite of 2017, which will also be out around the same time. But that's it for today. My name's Jeremy.
I'm Robbie.
I'm Jai.
And we'll see you at the movies.